What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on these analysis. We're going to be looking at SMCI today. So we've been going up this trend line recently. We did fall underneath this horizontal level of support and resistance. It's now acting as resistance if we get a close underneath here. If it acts as resistance, then the next thing I could see happening, if we do get this close on the weekly and we do close underneath this trend line, then I could see us getting a retest of the trend line or horizontal level of support and resistance, and then pushing to this next target of about 27. And you can draw that level out here. And if we lose that, then we could push down even further to maybe 18, 20 bucks. But on the flip side, we could, if we do get a bounce here, in a bullish case where maybe this turns into a wick, or the next week is a nice green engulfing candle, then I could see us pushing up to about 42 to 44 and maybe finding a little bit of chop there. And if we break above that, bounce off of that, and the next target I could see is about 54 to maybe 58, 60 bucks, somewhere in this region here. And then we'll find another resistance level with this old downward sloping trend line. So price is kind of compressed right now with the horizontal level of support and resistance, trend line, another trend line here, price is boxed in. But once we can break out of this downward sloping trend line, it should be a solid push up to this trend line, and then once we break this one, it could just go to all-time highs and beyond. Overall though, the trend is up, it's looking good. We will see how it plays out, of course, because we are at a critical level at the moment. So let's see if we can get a nice engulfing candle to rebound off of this trend line. But we have held this 2 times, and this is now the 3rd touch. So let's see how it plays out. On the SMAs, we fell underneath all 3, the 20, the 50, and the 200. So we need to reclaim those to get that bullish momentum to the upside. On the weekly, we're still holding above the 200, but we did just fall underneath the 20. So we haven't closed underneath it, but once we close underneath it, that's a bearish sign. And you can see what happened the last time we closed underneath the 20. You normally get a sharp move down. So let's see if we can reclaim that and eventually push back to the 50-week moving average. In terms of the Bollinger Bands, you can see we shot up to the red band. We normally don't spend a lot of time on the outer bands, the green or the red, and we got a sharp move back to the blue. So let's see if we can get price to hold above the blue and this horizontal level of support along with the trend line. You do have a good amount of confluence underneath price to allow it to push up higher, but that doesn't guarantee that price will push up higher. Even though there's confluence in this direction for the bullish scenario, it could still play out bearish and continue down further. On the daily, we are at the bottom band, and the same rules apply. You don't spend much time at the bottom bands or outer bands. So let's see if we can get a sharp move back to the blue band and continue up to the red and get a sharp move to the upside, eventually getting to this top trend line here. In terms of the stochastic RSI, we are oversold at the moment on the daily. So let's see if we can get a push back to the middle band and eventually to the upper part of this range. And on the weekly, we are in the middle range right now. So let's see if we get a push back to the upper part of the range and showed continued strength. Let's see if we can have price push back into a bullish area and continue the strength. On the weekly, we're still looking good, creating higher highs, higher lows. Looks like we're trying to get to this moving average here, the orange band, the orange moving average. So let's see if we get a bounce off of that and continue up higher and have these candles start to kick up again and start seeing some solid green candles pushing to higher levels. And on the daily, we just broke bearish and we're starting to increase the momentum. As you can see, the candles are starting to increase in size, and we got to bounce off of the moving average, the orange line, and the blue line is now pushing down to create lower lows. So let's see how it plays out. It can always turn right back around, how it's done multiple times here, and we get a large move to the upside. On a larger scale, we did get a bounce off the golden zone here, and it acted as resistance. So we broke above it. It was acting as support. We fell underneath it, and it's been resistance ever since. So we do need to reclaim this 618 to this 0.5, get a bounce, and continue to higher prices. This is on the weekly, and this is a large a large scale from July 2022. Now on a smaller scale, we have a fib here, and we're getting right now we're underneath the golden zone. We were previously bouncing off of it, and we had a strong close last week right above the golden zone, showing super bullish sentiment and momentum. But now it looks like it's flipping bearish, and we could close underneath the golden zone. And then the following move could be a retest of the golden zone and pushing down further to lower prices. Doesn't mean that has to play out, of course, but something to be aware of. And we're going to pull another golden zone or a fib from here, from that top. This is in a bearish direction. So in the bearish direction, it shows that the trend is still intact because we're pushing down. We got our bounce off the golden zone at the 0.5 to the 618, and now price is just continuing downward. So we'll see how it plays out, of course. But overall, it's still bullish in nature. So with short-term bearishness, but long-term could be a good opportunity. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.